They say that in sports, logic is absolute, that you can't simply skip steps, and that the weight of history is too heavy for the shoulders of a single man. But Alex Poatan Pereira has never cared about logic. What we are about to witness on June 14th, 2026, on the historic White House card, is not just a fight. It is an attempt to accomplish what names like John Jones, Anderson Silva, and Georges St-Pierre never even dared to pursue so directly, winning a third belt in 3 different divisions within a time frame that defies any human understanding. On the other side of the octagon stands the man considered the perfect antidote to chaos, Ciryl Gane, a heavyweight who moves like a ghost, floats like a middleweight, and carries the cold precision of an elite surgeon. Welcome to the MMA circuit. Today, we are not just going to analyze a fight. We are going to dissect the clash between mystical power and exact science. Get ready, because what's at stake here is ultimate sporting immortality. To understand the magnitude of this matchup, we first need to look at the unprecedented physical transformation. Alex Poatan is moving up to heavyweight with consistent reports that he tipped the scales at 247 pounds during his training camp. That's 112 kilograms of pure muscle, bone density, and a level of power that seems to come from another plane of existence. Most fighters, when moving up in weight, sacrifice fluidity and speed. The body struggles with a new center of gravity, punches lose timing, and the lungs burn more oxygen than usual to sustain the added mass. But Poatan's history tells us he is a different biological specimen. He's not moving up to see how it feels or to test the waters. He's moving up because his body has finally reached the maturity required to dominate the most dangerous division on planet Earth. However, this is where the silent danger lies. Ciryl Gane is not your typical heavyweight who relies on a single explosion or a lucky punch. He is the master of Octagon Arithmetic. He doesn't just want to knock you out. He wants to dismantle you piece by piece, round by round. He adds points with the jab, subtracts your patience with constant movement, and divides your attention until you no longer know where the finishing blow will come from. The big question echoing behind the scenes is heavyweight Poatan a more dangerous monster, or just a bigger target vulnerable to the speed and precision of the Frenchman? Now let's step into the geometry of this technical abyss. If you watch Ciryl Gane's feat, you'll see something that borders on heresy for a 260-pound division. He is a master of what we call structural movement. Gane doesn't retreat in a straight line, which is the fatal mistake of most heavyweights. He circles, uses 45-degree angles, and frustrates his opponent by making them chase shadows in the center of the cage. Many try to compare the Frenchman's style to Ciryl Adesanya, claiming Gane is the heavyweight version of the Nigerian. But here, we need to make a clear and necessary distinction. While Gane is technically brilliant for his size, he doesn't come close to the refined, deep, almost robotic technical precision that Adesanya possesses. Gane is a movement prodigy, but he still fights like a heavyweight trying to be light. Poatan, on the other hand, has already faced Adesanya's supreme technique 4 times at the highest level. He knows exactly what it's like to hunt someone who truly masters the fencing of hands and feet on a molecular level. If Gane believes his lateral movement will be an unsolvable puzzle for the Brazilian, he may face a devastating reality check the moment the cage door closes. Now look into Alex Pereira's eyes. There is something beyond technique there. It's what we call aura. Poatan doesn't enter the octagon with just his fists. He walks in with a suffocating presence that seems to drain the oxygen from the arena. It's an unshakable, almost mystical confidence that makes even experienced opponents begin to doubt their own strategies before the first strike is thrown. This aura makes every step he takes toward his opponent feel like the advance of an inevitable sentence. Poatan uses what we can define as knockout architecture, but that structure is built on the psychological fear he imposes. He forces you to react to subtle hip feints and nearly imperceptible low kicks until your brain starts predicting the wrong movement out of sheer panic. It's in that millisecond of hesitation, fueled by the pressure of facing a man who looks carved from stone, that the left hook finds its final destination. The absolute key to this fight lies in Ciryl Gane's lead leg. The Frenchman depends entirely on his mobility to avoid being cornered. If Poatan anchors Gane early, destroying his base with untelegraphed low kicks, Gane's entire hit-and-run strategy collapses. A legless Ciryl Gane becomes a stationary target, and a stationary target for a man who carries the aura of Alex Pereira is a fighter who has already lost before hitting the canvas. We cannot ignore the scars and ghosts of the past that haunt the French fighter. The world saw Ciryl Gane exposed on two crucial occasions. First against Francis Ngannou, where he was surprised by raw strength and grappling he didn't expect. Then against John Jones, where the speed of decision-making in the grappling realm overwhelmed him in under 3 minutes. The path to defeating Bon Gamin is to remove his comfort and turn the octagon into a dark, violent place. And here's my direct prediction for this fight. Many see this as a chess match that will stretch across 5 rounds, but I see something far more brutal. I believe Poatan's unshakable confidence and the absurd weight of his strikes will end this story in devastating fashion. My prediction is that Alex Poatan knocks out Ciryl Gane in the second round. The first round will be a tense feeling-out process, with Gane using lateral movement and Poatan starting to charge the toll with punishing low kicks. In the second round, with Gane's mobility already compromised and Poatan's aura crushing his mental resistance, the Brazilian will find the opening. It won't be just technique. It will be the imposition of a man who refuses to accept the limits of human possibility. If this fight reaches the so-called championship rounds, we enter dangerous and uncharted territory. How will Alex Pereira's body, now carrying 247 pounds, respond to the 20th minute of intense combat? Gane has the cardio of a marathon runner, but the fundamental question is, will he have the spirit to continue after feeling the first clean impact from the Brazilian? The Frenchman's technique is vast, but a champion's soul is tested in chaos, and Poatan is the absolute master of creating chaos, where he is the only one who knows how to breathe. On paper, Gane may have more volume, but in the brutal reality of the octagon, impact dictates the opponent's heartbeat. If the stone hand lands on the Frenchman's chin in the second round, as I predict, it won't matter how many jabs Gane landed or how beautiful his footwork looked. History will be rewritten before our eyes, and the world will have to bow to the first 3-crowned king in the organization's history. We are witnessing a clash of philosophies that defines modern MMA in its purest form. Raw, ancestral, overwhelming power versus elegant, futuristic technique. On June 14, 2026, at the White House, we won't just have a winner. We will have the confirmation of an immortal legend. Poatan could become the absolute god of war in the UFC, proving that aura, confidence, and knockout power can overcome any technical blueprint. Now the conversation is with you, who follows the MMA circuit. Do you agree with my prediction that Poatan ends this in devastating fashion in the second round? Or do you believe Gane's technique, even if not comparable to Adesanya's, is enough to survive the Brazilian's destructive power? Does Gane have a chance to frustrate Poatan, or is the champion's aura simply too great to be contained by any human strategy? Leave your comment below. High-level debate is what drives this channel, and I make a point of reading the perspective of those who truly understand fighting. If this deep analysis helped you see the invisible layers of this matchup that will stop the world, don't forget to leave your like to support our work. Subscribe to the MMA circuit and turn on notifications, because our coverage of this historic event is just getting started and will bring every technical detail of this journey to the top. I am the MMA circuit. The octagon is our home, strategy is our language, and the pursuit of truth in combat is our mission. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.